Blood on Michigan Avenue. The icy winds of Chicago swept down Michigan Avenue when a piercing scream shattered the morning silence. Neighbors gathered in front of a red brick apartment building as police rushed to the third floor. Inside apartment 306, the body of Hannah Carter, 26, lay on the floor. Her chest bore deep stab wounds, her eyes frozen in terror. The apartment was locked from the inside, windows sealed, no signs of forced entry. Beside the body lay a blood-stained scrap of red paper. On it, just two chilling words. She knew. Detective Raza, a Pakistani-American officer with the Chicago PD, examined the room. Something about this wasn't random. It wasn't a burglary. It was a message. The hidden diary. While combing through Hannah's belongings, officers found a locked drawer. Inside lay a leather-bound diary. The last entry sent chills down Raza's spine. If something happens to me, remember it won't be a stranger. It will be someone close. I know everything now. H.C. At the bottom of the page were two simple initials. A.K. Raza whispered to himself. A.K. Who the hell are you? The case had already stopped being simple. Hannah had seen it coming. The accountant's lie. The investigation led Raza downtown, to the NGO where Hannah worked. Rumors of financial fraud and missing donations had already surrounded the organization. The NGO's chief accountant was Adnan Khan, the initials, AK. When questioned, Adnan leaned back smugly. "Detective, I wasn't even in Chicago that night. I was in New York. Here, check my flight tickets." The alibi seemed airtight, but forensic officers later uncovered a half-burned boarding pass in Hannah's apartment. It bore Adnan's name, the same Chicago to New York flight, unused. Adnan never left Chicago. His lie was exposed. Raza clenched his jaw. So why lie, Adnan? What were you really hiding? The trial was chaos. Adnan Khan sat smug in the defendant's chair, flanked by one of Chicago's sharpest defense attorneys. Witnesses who had sworn certainty suddenly shifted their statements. Key documents were misplaced. What had once looked like an airtight case was unraveling thread by thread. Detective Raza watched, with clenched fists. Someone powerful was pulling strings in the shadows. Late that night, Raza returned to Hannah Carter's digital archive. Hidden deep in her iCloud was a single, unmarked folder. Inside was a chilling voice memo. If Raza is hearing this, remember, the enemy isn't who you think. It's the one pretending to be closest. Don't trust the mask of grief. It hides something darker. The words hit Raza like a blade. Hannah's closest friend had been Sarah Miller, the same Sarah who had discovered the body, screamed for help, and played the role of grieving friend flawlessly. Raza narrowed his eyes. Could Sarah be more than she appeared? Raza put Sarah under discreet surveillance. She played the part of mourning friend well in public, crying at vigils, laying flowers outside Hannah's apartment, even posting heartfelt tributes online. But one night, Raza followed her. Sarah slipped into a deserted warehouse near the Chicago River. She moved with purpose, not grief. Inside, Raza discovered a hidden locker. When he cracked it open, the truth stared back. Hannah's real phone. On it was a video. Hannah, pale and trembling, spoke directly into the lens. If anyone finds this, Sarah and Adnan are working together. They've been stealing from the NGO. I was going to expose them. They threatened me. I think tonight, they'll kill me. The recording jolted as Hannah gasped. A figure appeared behind her. Sarah, knife in hand. The screen cut to black. Raza's breath caught. It was undeniable now. Sarah wasn't just a friend, she was executioner. With the video, arrests came quickly. Sarah and Adnan were dragged from their apartments, their names smeared across every Chicago headline. NGO fraud turns deadly. Best friend betrayal. Sarah Miller arrested for Hannah Carter murder. The city hailed Raza as a hero, the the man who untangled a web of lies and delivered justice for Hannah Carter. But behind the applause, Raza's mind was restless. He returned to his office, reviewing every piece of evidence. Something gnawed at him. The video was damning, yes, but why had Hannah looked not just afraid, but betrayed? Why had Sarah's hand trembled in that final frame, like someone forced her into action? As Raza stared at the blood-stained scrap of paper in his desk drawer, she knew he realized something Hannah might have meant. Maybe she hadn't been warning about Sarah. Maybe she had been warning about someone else. Someone Hannah had trusted completely. Weeks later, the trial ended. Sarah and Adnan were sentenced. The city celebrated. Reporters swarmed Raza, calling him a symbol of justice. That night, alone in his office, Raza opened his private journal. He dipped his pen in ink and wrote carefully. Hannah was clever enough to see through Sarah and Adnan, but not clever enough to see through me. I planted the red paper. I planted the half-burned boarding pass. I manipulated Sarah's jealousy, Adnan's greed. I built the perfect illusion and let them take the fall. He paused, then added a chilling final line. I am Chicago's hero, but in truth, I am Chicago's killer, and no one will ever know. Raza closed the journal, slid it into his desk drawer, and turned off the light. Outside, the city celebrated his name. Inside, the true killer smiled in silence. Chicago sleeps tonight, blanketed by snow and neon light, believing its streets are safer because of a man named Detective Raza. To the city, he's a savior, the hero who delivered justice, the man who silenced corruption. But behind closed doors, in the quiet hum of a darkened office, the truth festers. The real killer walks free, his badge polished, his reputation untouchable. Hannah Carter's final scream is buried beneath applause. Sarah Miller and Adnan Khan rot in prison, pawns sacrificed in a game they never understood. And Raza, Marcus writes in his journal, immortalizing every move like a composer of death's symphony. Because evil does not always wear the face of a criminal. Sometimes, it smiles behind a badge. Sometimes, the monster is the man they call a hero. And as Chicago sleeps, Raza sharpens his mask ready for the next story, the next victim, the next perfect crime.